Hello everyone, welcome to UFOs Around the World. I'm your host Matt, and today we are going to be discussing the recent interview that is imminently going to be released, but there is a 5-minute clip that I'm going to share and go through. Now I haven't watched the full clip yet, so I'm going to watch it for the first time with you lot and give my opinion on it. Now this is involving Jake Barber, Beatriz Villarroel and Dennis Asberg. Now Dennis Asberg is the person that has been researching this Baltic Sea anomaly. You've got the Beatriz Villarroel, who's been releasing these papers recently of these transient objects which were pre-Sputnik, which means they could not have been man-made, and they were there 1 minute and then they were gone the next, and there was thousands of these. And we've got Jake Barber in the mix now, who has gone over to Sweden to do a roundtable interview with Beatriz and Asberg. I'm just going to say right off the bat, I think this is a reconnaissance mission by Jake Barber, and he does not fit in my opinion, with these pictures, and I'll show you now. So let's go into it. So this is the the image of Dennis, Beatriz, and Jake. Just doesn't fit in. I think it's Beatriz's birthday, so they've got the birthday cake and candles on. He's doing some shopping. He's got his little bag here. Again, he just looks odd. Just looks out of place. I don't know about you. Just something off here. This is him again. Just looks odd. And there's a few more pictures online where he seems to be, doing a bit of sightseeing and stuff like that. So this was the first thing that got released. So I'll give this a play right now. Let me turn that up. That's the loudest it'll go.
Med fantastiska människor runt omkring mig. Och vem har jag här? Jag har Beatriz Villarroel. Och vad är Beatriz? Astronom och vi befinner oss i Stockholm. Fantastiskt väder, underbart. Som ni ser fartyget här bakom. Vi ska inte åka med. Men sen har jag en kille här som är fantastisk. Jag har lärt känna han väldigt mycket nu i de här dagarna. Och vem har jag här?
He's looking at him thinking, I hope he's saying something nice about me.
Jake Barber. Yeah. And who is Jake?
And I have no idea what they just said because I only speak English, but I'm sure it was very flattering and a proper introduction. But yeah, I'm Jake Barber from the United States of America. Been involved with the Skywatcher Corporation, where we are exploring UAP in the United States and elsewhere. And I'm here in Sweden to meet with these other two explorers who have been looking at very interesting things that have inspired me as well. And so we wanted to get together in this beautiful place and have some coffee and tea and some desserts and talk about the journey we've all been on individually. And I think we have a lot in common that we can only offer each other that few can sympathize with. So we're having a lot of fun.
And lots of secrets.
And sharing secrets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, what we learned about the universe today.
So we're gonna do a podcast interview tomorrow, hopefully, if everything's turned well with the time and everything. So tomorrow we're gonna record it, and perhaps next week or 2 weeks it's gonna be out on Dennis World. Thanks for watching, and thank you.
You're welcome.
Great.
Ciao.
So Dennis World, I've spoke to Dennis on his TikTok. He's got he's very approachable. You can reach out to him and he will reply to you and stuff like that. Gave me some information before the things were released, and that gave me a heads up on certain things. Hopefully we'll get to speak to him very soon, but obviously he's a man in demand at the minute, and he's got bigger fish to fry than speaking to someone like myself. So let's go into the recent clip that's been shared, and this is 5 minutes long. Like I said, I've not seen this yet, so I'm going to listen to it for the first time. Hopefully the audio is a bit better than that last one.
And the egg was a unique experience because it was a highly sensitive operation that turned out to be a crash retrieval of a non-human craft, and that was the egg, which literally looked like an egg, like a chicken egg, except it was shiny. And it was on the ground when I got there. So my primary role in crash retrievals is that of a helicopter pilot. So I was operating a helicopter that night when I got dispatched to retrieve the egg with a long line system and a remote hook, as we call it. It's usually a 150 foot to 200 foot long line that hangs below the aircraft.
So Jake's repeating his story that he's told Ross and stuff like the one we're aware of about this egg that didn't sit very well with most people in the UFO community. You know, it got mocked considerably. I'm more interested what these two have got to offer, especially the Baltic Sea anomaly research that they've been doing. And Beatriz, I'm not really interested at the minute of this egg and stuff. There's some fishy stuff going on with Skywatcher at the minute. Are they even going at the minute? You know, CEO or something's pulled the technology and moved it somewhere else, and it was supposed to be disbanded. And now 1 minute they've got a third episode coming out. I don't know. And to be honest with you, I'm bored of Skywatcher and stuff like that. And I don't trust this guy as far as I can fucking throw him. I'll be honest with you. I don't like the fact that he's the one that's mixing straight away with these two. Should be somewhere else, talking to bigger platforms. Should be talking to him. Not that's just my opinion. Like.
And I flew in that night with that long line system and came over the hill and saw a shiny, like metallic white egg on the ground, and hooked it up and flew it to another secure location where it was offloaded. And that experience was something that stuck with me.
Is it dangerous to go close to it?
Is it dangerous? Well, some there are there are records within the crash retrieval program of there being side effects or medical conditions associated with those who have recovered craft from the ground or even in the air. Um, I'm one of those myself. And this gets confused a lot in the public that has seen some of my podcasts or some of the coverage of some of the conversations I've had like this. You know, there were two objects that I am talking about publicly. One is the egg. The other is what we call was an eight-gon, or it's basically a flying disc with eight delineated sections. You know, when viewed from above, it looked like a craft, a flying saucer, but it wasn't smooth. It had eight sections. It was very dark. And by the time I was over the object, flying, trying to lift it off the ground, I was in tears. Um, I didn't know if I thought maybe someone had drugged me, or I was having an emotional breakdown of some kind from just stress, cortisol. And it took everything I got to fly and pick this load up and fly away. I slowly kind of exposed my family to this idea, to this worldview over time. We've always held that in our household, like especially with my children. I've talked about it that way. Um, and so I think they're oriented, at least within my household and my circle of friends, they are oriented towards this becoming a reality, but they didn't know the extent to which I was involved. And so, especially within my immediate family, they didn't want me to come forward. And it took a long time. Like Ross and I were working together for over 2 years before I came out. And at first I was like, there's no way. But I wanted to find a way to help because of friends like David Grush, who had stuck his neck out and was out there on a limb, and he wasn't getting much support. And so I wanted to find a way forward for him.
Do you know what I've heard recently, right? And this might be a load of bullshit, right? But apparently one of the witnesses that's going to Congress is Jake Barber. I could be wrong, but I've heard yesterday, funnily enough, I heard that Jake Barber's one of the main witnesses that's going to be going to Congress at this hearing. So we'll find out, won't we, in, was it 8 days, 9, 10 days? I suppose it'd be decent if he went. I'm still things very off with him for me, but maybe he's got something that he could say at Congress, maybe change our opinions on him. I think a lot of people are a bit unsure about him. I'm 100% unsure about him. Like, something will sit right with me with him. Like I said, I'm more interested about these two than I am about what he's been saying. Yeah, I hope he is actually one of the four that goes. See what he can offer in a hearing on UFOs. See if he can offer something new, something compelling.
And I just had to assure my family that I didn't have a choice, that I had an obligation, and that I'd done my best to ensure that it was going to be okay for us. There was the surprise and the embarrassment because I knew there was going to be backlash. And it's tough on your kids too, because your face is going to become known and they're going to be, oh, there's that guy that I saw on YouTube. And most of my life was spent very private and very secretive. And there's no benefit for us, for my family, for being known. Like we have worked really hard and we have become very stable financially, very stable socially. And there was only
Do you know what I think it is with him, right? He said in that Jesse Michaels thing, I'm the boogeyman, and he speaks about these children that they take and stuff like that, and he's been quite a violent man from what he sounds like from his interviews. But then when you see him in these interviews, he's like so nice, so it's like, is it an act? Is he putting on this really nice persona when really he's an absolute bastard, right? I don't know. Just something doesn't sit right with me with him. Maybe I'm totally wrong. Maybe my radar. I hope I am. I'm wrong. He's probably a really nice guy. And he's gonna release things, and he's got a good motive. He's got a good agenda and stuff like that to do this. And I don't know. I don't know. Something just off him. Something not right about him.
the possibility for loss in this. It was an act of service, and it's something that I knew I had a piece of the puzzle, and that puzzle needed to be completed because I was leaving other good Americans hanging out there that had come forward.
Okay.
And so I focused on that while in the short term, my family may be very angry at me, in the long term, they would be proud of what I did, that I came forward and I did the right thing. And especially for my teenage daughter, it was really rough.
See, he's getting emotional here, which makes me think maybe he's being honest then. Maybe how easy is it just to fake tears in your eyes? He's got tears in his eyes here, so he's feeling that emotion that he's talking about. Maybe I'm reading him wrong, people. Maybe, I'm one of those people that will say, I was wrong. But you can clearly see he's getting visibly upset here, speaking about this little part, about his family.
But when I knew that when she grew older, that I'd hoped that she would look back and understand that it was a moral obligation, and that it was an act of virtue and bravery that motivated me to come out. Yeah.
So that's the latest update with Dennis Asberg, Beatriz, and Jake Barber. It's nothing really earth-shattering, but it's interesting that those three are having a roundtable meeting, and I'm sure there's a lot more in-depth discussion that's going to be coming out over the next week or two. And like I said, I'm very interested to hear what Beatriz and Dennis have to say, more than Jake. But at the end of that interview, then there was a bit of honesty, it seemed, from Jake, and he was getting visibly upset. Maybe he regrets things. Maybe there's something that. Maybe he's got a dark passenger. Who knows? What do you think? Are you excited about what this interview is going to entail? There is no other update at the minute that I can give. Oh, I might do a video on the 3i Atlas. There's new papers that have been released saying that there is an abundance of nickel without iron, which would suggest that it could be manufactured or something. So I might just do a video on that tomorrow or something. I'm in no rush for it, but I might drop the papers in the comments, but I will drop all the links for these in the description below and stuff like that. So as always, please drop a like, drop a little subscription if you want, give it a share. And if you want to become a member, please become a member. There'll be merchandise and stuff like that, and membership videos coming very soon and stuff like that. To the people that are members, thank you very much. I will get your names at the end of the videos when I get better at my editing. I'm doing it. I'm getting there slowly but surely. And if you don't follow me on TikTok, please head on over to TikTok and give me a follow on TikTok. That is where you will find daily videos on there also. And as always, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.